Hello. Good to see you on this week's edition of Issues and Society, a very informative and of course educative program. On this week's edition, I have a very important personality, like what the Holy Bible said, that when John said, I could not untie the lace of his shoe. The man has really intimidated by his resume. My guest for today is a politician, a great philanthropist, and of course a successful businessman as well. My guest for today was born on 15 July 1951 at Katsina in Katsina State. And of course, I'll say briefly before I just go back to him, Senator Ibrahim M has also served as Commissioner for Finance, Katsina State, 1989 to 1991, Chairman, Defense Industry Corporation of Nigeria, namely DICON, member of the National Maritime Authority, now NIMASA, and of course, member, Body for Public Enterprises, the sole administrator, Continental Merchant Bank Limited. And of course, was the secretary to the now famous Okibo panel on the reform and restructuring of Central Bank of Nigeria. And of course, in 2007, he was elected Senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for Katsina Central on the platform of People Democratic Party. In the Senate, he chaired the Senate Committee on Defense and Army and was also a member of the Senate Committee for Finance. Senator Ibrahim M also belongs to the Committee on INEC and Electoral Matters and Senate Committee on Rules and Business. He sponsors many bills and motions on the floor of the Senate and sought to the execution of various projects in his constituency and his state. He was also instrumental to the recruitment of many people from Katsina State, especially the youth, into the public service after his term in the Senate. He returned to legal practice, business, and active politics. My guest for today also is a governorship candidate under the platform of People Democratic Party, Katsina State. Ladies and gentlemen, please do join me in welcoming Senator Ibrahim M. Sir, you're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Like I said in my intro, I said there's so much to say about you, sir. I need the viewers, all my viewers want to listen to you to know who is Senator Ibrahim M.
Well, thank you very much. After my tertiary education, I went into the banking sector, where I served until I rose to the position of Assistant General Manager for Bank of the North based in Lagos, with responsibility for the whole southern operations of the bank. Subsequently, I transferred to civil service. The interesting thing was that both Bank of the North and the Central Bank where I worked were scheduled service, so I just transferred to the federal service, where I really had a very fruitful and satisfying career. I rose to be a permanent secretary. I was appointed a permanent secretary in 1992, and I served in various ministries and performed various ad hoc activities, culminating in my retirement as a permanent secretary from the Ministry of Defense. In between, I served as a permanent secretary, Economic Affairs Office in the presidency, and I think I was the longest serving permanent secretary in that office, having served for about over 5 years, during which I did a lot of satisfying work. I was the coordinator for the economic summits that held, apart from the first one, the second, third, fourth, and fifth. I was the coordinator and the relationship manager, so to say, with the public sector participation. And that was when I performed the role for which I'm generally known. I was the secretary to the Vision 2010 committee, a program that worked tirelessly for 1 year, and in the end, came up with a report which unfortunately was not fully implemented. If it had been, many people have said that Nigeria might have been a different place. I also was the pro tem secretary of the PTF. Actually, I worked as the permanent secretary towards setting it up. And when all the structures were in place, the board set up. On the day it took off, I bowed back to my office in the presidency. So really, my most memorable life has been my service in the public service, yes. And then it was after I retired from service that I went back to the university to complete legal studies that I started And I went to the law school and became, a lawyer, a practicing lawyer, which is a profession that I cherish and the one that I now perform, because I have a flourishing chamber with a friend, and we are doing a lot of work. So I think in brief, that is the only thing that I can add to what you have already said.
This is when you were elected as a senator 2007, am I correct?
Yes.
And you belong to various committees.
Yes. Can
you let us major achievements at the Senate?
Well, you see, serving in the Senate is a collective work, in the sense that as a senator you are part of a body, 109 people, and you have a clearly defined constitutional responsibility, which is really to work towards enacting laws for the good government of Nigeria. In fact, I was fortunate enough to champion or propose or sponsor bills that have direct bearing. I'll give you an example. I sponsored a bill on the establishment of an infrastructure to check against desert encroachment. That was it. I also sponsored a bill that saw to the enactment of an act to provide for proper management of the financial system. Yes. Now these are just the few. And then you also have motions. Motions are statements you come and make, issues you raise on the floor of the chamber, ultimately leading to a decision. Now the decision is not as binding as a law. As a senator also you have what we call constituency projects. Now here it's very interesting, because people think that when there's a constituency project, the legislators are given money to go. No, it's not so. You see, it is contained within the appropriation. The only thing is that you as a legislator, you are given a figure notionally, and it is left for you to apply those figures to the projects that have direct bearing on your constituents. You have no involvement in the actual execution of the project, nor do you have any involvement in the disbursement of funds in the project. But you have the responsibility of ensuring that wherever or whatever the amount is used for is something that is beneficial to your constituency. And here I did a lot by way of boreholes, primary medical care, roads, rural roads, employment acquisition skills centers, and many others. Then you also have the influence of scout around for employment for your constituents. And here it may not necessarily be your constituents alone, because as a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you are approached by people from many places other than your own constituency. And these people may not even know you, but the fact that you are a senator all gives you that responsibility of listening to them. And here I would say that to my credit, if I have to say so, I was instrumental to the recruitment of over 1,800 people into the various public services, especially military, police, immigration, all these military agencies. Now I regard that as one of my greatest achievements, because to date, when I walk around, I see policemen who come to greet me, and in the end, they salute me and tell me that I was instrumental to their joining the forces. So it is very satisfying.
You have been watched all over the world at the moment. I really want to ask you, you are a governorship candidate in Katsina State, am I correct?
Yes, please.
Now let me ask you, what exactly is your vision?
First of all, as I said, I have been in the private sector, I have been in the public sector, I have been in the political arena. So I know precisely what our local problems are. And with a government that is caring and one that is poised to making the basic things of life not only available but also affordable to all. Now that is my vision, and I think I wish to translate it through the implementation of an 8-point agenda. Yes. And this agenda actually First of all, it seeks to strengthen our traditional and religious values. Now, it is within this ambit that you come to the issues of ensuring security through collective effort. Then we also have, as a leader, the problem we always face is that more often than not, leaders expect you to do what they say rather than what they do. But I believe that leadership, a good leadership, is one that is epitomized by good example. A leader should live what he or she preaches. Then you find that at the moment the vogue or the problem afflicting Nigeria is that of security, or should I say insecurity. And I believe that in as much as the federal government is in control of the apparatus, cohesive, if one may say, or the military and law enforcement agencies. Nevertheless, I think within the purview of the Constitution, there is a provision that gives a level of involvement of local authorities in the maintenance of laws and orders in the respective areas. That is why the state governors are the chief security officers. So really, in conjunction with the already existing structure, especially traditional rulership and structure, I intend to exploit that to ensure that Katsina remains the peaceful place it is. The current government in Katsina is doing a marvelous job, an excellent job in maintaining the security of life and property here. We hear so many things happen in other places, but somehow Katsina has been safe, and it is not by accident, it was by design and by hard work. Now, then the issue of employment, because when you talk of poverty, poverty comes up when people are idle or they are not optimally utilized. We have teeming youth of both gender, men and women, that have finished their education, some of them up to the tertiary level, but they are idle. I intend to really evolve policies that will make the best use of available resources to ensure that these people are employed. Then the issue of agriculture. You see, Katsina is an agrarian environment. We have excellent and very good fertile land, which one can use. And then we have water resources. We are endowed with dams in 4 strategic locations, which properly harnessed will provide potable water and water for agriculture. You see, all along we have relied on rain-fed agriculture, but I feel that was in the past. We have relied on traditional method of seedling. We have relied on traditional method of evolving or producing fertilizer. But I think that area is gone. We now have to adopt modern method. First of all, to use the available resources to ensure that agriculture is carried out all year round. Secondly, you also have to find a market. At the moment, there is a serious disparity. You will find out that whereas a basket of tomato may cost 1,000 naira in Katsina, it may cost 10,000 naira in Calabar. But because there is no proper information as to what happens in the market is really imperfect, so to say, as we say in economics. But I think there is need for the local authorities, and here I mean the state authorities, to take active interest in exploiting markets and encouraging their people to really package this produce and take it there. We are doing a good job and we have all the resources. I believe that if we use agriculture alone in Katsina, we can not only feed our people, occupy our people, empower our people, but make our people wealthy. Then we have the issue of education. Happily enough, Katsina has been a cradle of education right from the onset. I believe that the state government now is doing a lot in expanding the infrastructure, but I think a lot more needs to be done from where they have stopped. We need to have high quality teachers. We need to motivate these teachers. We need to ensure that facilities exist we need to aim. At the moment, the best yardstick of evaluating the quality is passing examination, unfortunately. So we have to work toward that. We have to make sure that 90% or 99% of all students that sit for examination in Katsina attain the required grade, so that they could be able to fill our quota in the various tertiary institutions. Now the health issue. At the moment we have a problem, in West Africa, the problem of Ebola. Happily enough, Nigeria has done a marvelous job, and here I want to commend the President, the governors, the health workers, and all those who have really worked tirelessly to ensure that the problem of Ebola is something of the past. But we need to do a lot. We need to, put more attention on both preventive and curative jointly. If we do that, we will have a healthy society. A healthy society is a good society, is a productive society. And finally, I think that we have a problem. I have a tradition, I have a culture, I have a history of public service, and I believe that the way that the public sector is performing now, I think a lot requires for this to be done to improve it. I intend to bring the public service to its former glory, involve the civil servant in the day-to-day running, because they are supposed to be there, they are supposed to advise, to guide, and to see to implementation of policies. And being there, they are the best custodians of knowledge as to how things should be done, and they are the best custodians of integrity. I believe that if the public or civil service is really properly motivated, well-led, well-trained, with proper welfare, then and only then will you see to the addressing of the problem of corruption, improving the issue of performance, and producing a society that is satisfied with itself and one that is focused on achieving much greater results than the one that are on record. And I believe that I have what it takes in terms of both in character and in learning to ensure that it comes into being. Because as I have said, I want a Katsina state that is populated by God-fearing, and this is very important, industrious people, and governed by a just administration that takes all the necessary steps to ensure that the basic needs of life are not only available but affordable. And we also go a step further to make the Katsina society a wealthy society, a peaceful society, a society that is satisfied with itself, and by implication, a society that will go out and look at any other society in Nigeria from the position of equality, not from position of inferiority.
You are a member of the Katsina American Council, correct?
Yes, please.
What exactly is your plan for the traditional rulers?
You see, I am the Majan Katsina and also a councillor without portfolio. Now I have a lot of respect for the traditional institutions. You see, these institutions are performing a very big executive role, judicial role, and legislative role. So I think, what else can we do than to institutionalize them into a formal structure? We don't have to call them only when we need them, which is precisely what we are doing now. So I intend to strengthen their position by bringing them closer to the government, by ensuring that they are properly funded, and by making sure that they play a prominent role both at the local level and at the national level. Yes.
Also, you also the founder of St. Ibrahim Foundation, am I correct?
Yes, please.
I really want to ask you, because your very good work that you have done so far, I've taken you far to Ondo State, where you are being given a chieftaincy title of Bobani Fikarela.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about it?
Well, you see, that is a very interesting. You see, my wife of over 40 years, the family have relationship with the traditional institution in all the states. So I am regarded in a way as a son of the soil there. And His Royal Highness the Olukare was fortunate, was magnanimous enough to confer on me the title, which I cherish very well. And I regard that environment as my second home. So I have a lot of respect for that. Now, as regards the foundation, yes, you see, after leaving office as a senator, I felt that while I was facing my own legal practice and other businesses, there's a need for me to continue with my work to the public. Philanthropy is something that should continue for life. When I was a senator, I was doing a lot of it, or people saw it as being part of my role as a senator. But when I left the Senate, I felt that, look, I should continue to do it. And I set up the foundation. Now the foundation is performing those roles. It is assisting people in terms of giving aid to the needy, orphanages, hospitals. We have a section that seeks employment for the youth, and we participate in various public related activities. And I believe I want it to grow because I want it to supersede me. I don't want it to be tied to my existence. I want to build it in such a way that even when I leave this world, then at least I should leave a machinery. So it is a good thing, and I enjoy many people, or all people that are within the same, that have been fortunate enough to have been favored by society to create, an outfit through which they can serve the public.
That's a part of your life I want to look at now.
Yeah.
They say beside it was this woman, there is this woman.
Yes.
How could you wife?
Oh,
how
my
did you
God.
meet her?
Oh, yes. You see, I met my wife, I would say by accident. I went to Kano. My wife from Kano. So I went to Kano and I was staying in a house, and opposite, that house, there was a family. It was a very beautiful girl. And the moment I saw her, it was, from my side, I think it was love at first sight. But she was not, very receptive at first. She ran away. Now, I was in school at the time, so I was looking forward to holidays when I would come and spend it there. And then, when I finished secondary school in Katsina, I was sent for my high school certificate, HSC, then in Kano. And by then, she was not there because she had moved, to another place, I think to the Caribbean, because the family, went there to settle for business there. And she had gone there, so I missed her. And one day, I just saw the younger brother, and I asked him, he said, well, yes, she had been looking for me. And I quickly went to the house, and that's how it was. And you'll be surprised, that was in 1973. So, 1972. So invariably, we are married on the 11th of November, 1972. I was 21, and she was 16. And we have been happily married ever since. So I would say, I am married to a woman I love very, very much. And we have had, 7 very, very good children, 2 girls and 5 boys, one of whom is just sitting by your side. I also have another daughter, but I think in the end, it has been a very good family life for me.
Millions of Nigerians are watching this moment,
Yeah.
and your good people in Katsina State,
Yeah.
and over the world are watching you. What
Yeah.
exactly is your message to them?
I would like, first of all, to thank the Almighty God for creating me where He did, when He did, and through whom He did. I also want to really enjoy my fellow Nigerians. We are at a crossroads. we are facing a very trying time. We are preparing for general election. Please, let it not be a do or die affair. 2, to the political parties, especially our party, you have said that you are going to create a level playing field for all aspirants. Please, let it be. To my local constituents, please, in as much as people have to come from a platform or a party, pick the best candidate you can evaluate. Don't be carried away by primordial interest. Don't allow yourselves to be swayed away by anybody trying to buy you. Because if he does, he will have to get his own pound of flesh back. What you sow is what you expect to reap. All those who think that they can bribe people into getting them into offices, the people should know that the moment said people get there, the first thing they will do is to recoup their investment. But most importantly, let us be peaceful. Let us know that it is people that are governed, not houses or cities. Let us create an environment for the society such that anybody from anywhere can aspire for anything and can move freely to anywhere. Please, Nigeria, let us put to shame those who think that Nigeria will disintegrate by 2015.
Senator Ibrahim M, also thank you. That's all we can take on this week's edition of Issues of Society, and I do hope you enjoy every bit of the interview. Thank you so very much, sir. Until I come here next week, same time, my next mention additional. Do have a pleasant week ahead, and I can do see. Let us be out of trouble.